A grim picture is being painted here by Mayor Tory, given the potential loss of $1.5 to $2.8 billion in the revenue for the city. So what he has done is he wants to turn his attention towards the province and the feds and ask for that much more as a result. He says some grim losses could come about if that doesn't happen. So what would it cost the city? A potential cut of $23 million to Toronto Fire, scrapping 500 frontline police officers. 61 community centres plus library branches could face closures. Long-term care could lose more than 1,300 beds. But most crucially, the TTC could get $500 million less. Lines 1 and 2 would be cut to half. Lines 3 and 4 shut down completely. Mayor Tory says conversations have so far been encouraging, but, quote, encouraging words buy nothing for cities.
Toronto is Canada's economic engine. We are ready to rev up, but we cannot stall. That is exactly what is at risk if the federal and provincial governments don't come to the table with funding support for Toronto and for all Canadian municipalities.
The city is calling for lifelines, and so far, none are being thrown this way. TTC ridership is down 80%, and it's estimated around $300 million will be lost by Labor Day. For 25 years, the transit system's main revenue source has been the fare box, and yet the push for cash from Ottawa was met with this last week.
We're going to have to adjust, and the federal government will be there to work with the provinces, including supporting them in their areas of jurisdiction.
Queen's Park hasn't committed any additional cash for transit at this point either. Add to that the need for the TTC to adjust service and keep customers safe as things get back on track.
Right now, we need to put 100% of the service on the road just to safely serve a small percentage of the ridership. If we have 40 to 50% of the riders back on the subway, that may seem to people like, oh, you've only got 50% of the people back, but we can't distance them without support.
If the trains and buses become packed again, this COVID trip could be taken right back to the start.